Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Running Things Season 2. My name's Riley. I'm your host. I'm also the editor over at tempojournal.com. We're going to jump straight into the show today. We've got a pretty amazing guest, something a little bit different than what we're used to. We are joined by Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri is a 100 meter and 200 meter sprinter with just incredible potential. She ran a 10:75 100 last year while running for LSU, which is the 9th ranked 100 meter time ever. So has an amazing future, likely going to be an Olympian and a very successful Olympian in the next couple of cycles. She is in Texas right now, so let's waste no more time. Let's jump over there and speak with Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay, super special guest on the show today. This young woman has the rest of the world pretty much running scared right now in the 100 meters. She is a phenomenal talent. We are joined by Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri, how are you?
I am fine. How are you guys today?
Yeah, really well. It's so great to have you on the show. Let's start by, where are you right now? Are you back in Texas?
Yes, actually, that's a good guess. I'm back home right now during this downtime before fall training picks back up. I'm down here visiting my family for the time being and just unwinding a little bit before having to pick it back up and getting ready for the 2021 season.
What's it like being back home?
Being back home, it's like I'm not Shakiri Richardson, the track runner, honestly. Unless I go out in public, of course, someone recognizes me. But no, just going back home, being with my family, being around, I just feel like this kind of a normal person, if that makes sense, for a better like a word. I just go home and I just be the person I was before I blew up, if that makes sense.
Are you still getting, like, what do you do kind of in the off season? Are you still getting a bit of training in, just less intensity? Like, how do you structure that?
Definitely. The intensity level is nothing compared to how I would be if I was fall training or rather spring training. But definitely enough to when we do decide to pick up training again, I won't be too out of shape, but enough to, like, if I get bored or something too bored, I may go for a jog. I may pop in the weight room here and there. But other than that, just enough to keep my body running, if that makes sense.
Sure. It's obviously been a crazy 2020 for everybody, but you have managed to get a little bit of racing in throughout July and August and ran pretty well, punctuated by the 22 flat 200. You must be really happy to have salvaged like a great 200 time out of the season.
Right. I definitely actually running that 200 race, me and my coach, we talked about it and we've been training for it, but that particular day, I wasn't honestly expecting that time. So when I crossed the finish line, my coach actually told me it was a win legal time. I was like, oh, well, that's a PR. I was like, and definitely after the fact that the season that we had and having less amount of races underneath my belt. Excuse me. Not saying I was expecting anything, not saying I was expecting anything slow, but I definitely wasn't expecting a PR. So I definitely enjoyed that. I think that was a accomplishment for this crazy season for me, a personal accomplishment for this season, honestly.
Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about the Tokyo Olympics. Like, you know, all athletes are different. For some athletes, like athletes on the older end of the scale, the postponement isn't great for them, right? Because, you know, they're kind of running out of time. You know, even if we look at the women's 100, like a lot of the athletes who competed in Doha are kind of, you know, they're closer to the end of their career than their start.
Right.
You're 20 years old. It feels to me like the postponement is great for you. It gives you another year in the system, another year to mature. Is that how you view it as well?
Honestly, that's exactly how I view it. And my support system around me, including my coach, definitely make sure to instill that into me, saying that this year is definitely a year that you can use to just an extra year to perfect their crafts, get adjusted to the system, get adjusted to the new environment, just get adjusted to this new world on and off the track. So I definitely feel like it's a blessing in disguise at the same time. And then I'm also grateful because, like you stated, I did get some type of racing this year. So I don't feel like this year was an entire just focusing on training. I was able to see progress. Me and my coach actually started on working on from when I got down, when we started training for this 2020 season up until, you know, when we were unfortunately when we found out the season wasn't going to be a regular one. But still, I'm satisfied with the results that I walked away with.
What's the what's the biggest difference between like, you had an amazing year at LSU and now in a professional group, like, in training, is the difference massive, not necessarily in terms of the workouts, but like this is serious now, right? Like this is people's careers and people's livelihoods. Is it like, does it feel a lot more like a lot different to college?
Definitely. In college, you was just running to keep your scholarship. You was running to make sure, you kept the same amount. And you was running for your teammates. Their motivation was different. It was still a motivation, but it wasn't as severe as I feel like on this level being professional. Because being professional, this is how you eat. This is how you live. This is how you're gonna take care of your family. And that's definitely the biggest, if not my biggest motivation, is in being able to take care of the ones that have taken care of me and the ones that I love. So I definitely feel like professional, the stakes are definitely more higher. So when you sit at the table, it's all or nothing. So I definitely feel like on this level, it's pushed me not just physically. Whew. Dennis Mitchell has not only pushed me physically, but the entire experience has pushed me mentally and also spiritually as a person.
I want to talk about that mental side of the sport as well, because one of the things that comes through in anytime you speak, whether it's straight after a race or whether it's on stage at the Bowerman or anything, like your kind of mental strength, or like you have this bulletproof belief in yourself, right? That just cannot be shaken. Like, is that what's the biggest asset for you? Is it like your physical talents and what you're capable of, or is it that like just ironclad belief that you can do anything?
It honestly is the mindset. My thing is, it's just like, how you work is how you eat is how you live. And so if I'm going to this track and I have to be here from 9 till 2, and I have to do this 6 days a week, you telling me when we lined up and I'm doing this for 4 weeks, and when I have to line up for a race and I only have to run for less than 11 seconds, if I have to put my body through that, I'm telling you, and you're going to best believe me, feel at that finish line, you're going to feel the work that I've put in. You're going to feel how I've been working so I can eat. So when I get to this line, you see everything I put in, the time I put in. So even though you just see, oh yeah, she got down here in 10.3 seconds, it's mentally, because you don't win a race. You don't prepare for a race the day of. You're preparing for that race while you're training. You're preparing while you're practicing, because how you practice is how you compete. And I am a strong believer of that. I believe that how you feel, if you feel good, you race good, you look good, you race good. I even go to practice it the same way. I feel like if I look good, particularly this day at practice, I may practice a little bit better. Just, you never know. But I definitely consider it's the mindset, because track, everybody's fast, especially on a professional level. You cannot not give anyone their credit. Everyone has some type of speed or some type of area that they excel in. So you just have to, it's the mental aspect that separates the good from the great, or from the ones that will be unforgettable. I feel like it's mindset for me.
That's like such a great lesson for any young athletes who are maybe still in high school or middle school or still coming up. Like the power of being strong mentally and believing in yourself and what that can do for you. We see athletes who do a full term in college and then turn pro sometimes can still, take a couple of years to find their feet.
Right.
Whereas you're, as we've said, you're 20 years old, and speaking with you, I feel like I'm speaking to a woman who's 26, 27 years old, been a professional for years. Like where does that maturity and that readiness come from to be in this environment?
Honestly, it comes from where I come from. It comes from the experiences of also on the track and off the track as well, and combining those things, whether it's passion, whether it's pain, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whatever it may be, using it as just a driving force to go forward. Like, to always remember where I'm from, but to never go back, to always go forward. I feel like that's definitely a key factor in my maturity, and just knowing that at a young age, having the people around me, definitely another thing for me, support system, them seeing, because me at the time just running when I was young, I'm just like, oh, this is fun. But them being able to see the actual potential in the long run and not forcing it onto me, but slowly instilling me and showing me like, hey, like if you do a little bit more on the track, you may get a little bit more off. Like just slowly showing me and allow me to make that own mature decision, or that own decision to want to take this serious at such a young age. I feel like that was definitely another factor in the reason why of my success today. I think I've been preparing myself for this moment, not for these times, but for this career, and just knowing that if I'm going to do this, I was taught, if you do something, you're going to do it all the way. Do it all the way or don't do it at all. So that's just how I'm coming when I do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It feel, as an outsider, it feels like you never really want to get comfortable, right? Like you're always putting yourself in these uncomfortable situations. You know, 1 year at LSU, it would have been really easy to come back for a second year. You know, you turn pro at the end of an incredibly long season, you throw yourself into USAs.
Yeah.
You know, like, is that it? Is it like you don't want to sit still? You don't want to get comfortable? You keep testing yourself?
Honestly, it is that feeling, and just not being comfortable, just even from the decisions from going from LSU to running USAs, from USAs to making the transition to leave in a whole new state, go to a whole new training system, whole new coaching. Definitely those risks, those decisions made me uncomfortable. But I just noticed, and I guess I've noticed from just in my past, that change is, when change comes, you're supposed to be uncomfortable, or it's uncomfortable to make change. But when you make change, you get different results. Or, you know, if you make change, you never know what's on the other side. You keep doing the same thing, you may get the same result, or you may get something different, but you never know. So I just feel like being uncomfortable also keeps me on my toes. It also makes me not satisfied. Not necessarily not satisfied, but not satisfied. It makes me want to see, okay, I'm able to do this, but how can I do this? Like hearing, oh yeah, like you just stated, most people when they transition from college to professional, it does take them a couple years. It does take them a while. And I hear that, or when I was in college, my freshman year, hearing, oh yeah, you're a freshman, so transitioning over to the profession, to college may be a little tricky. And it's just like, everyone's different. You can't box all of us in a box, or you can't box everyone in a box because of how you experience the situation. And I always take that and use it as ammunition to be different, to beat the system. Not saying to beat the system, but to beat the system, to make a new norm, to let people know, no, this, don't listen to that. If you do what it is and you set yourself up to get to that goal, then no one else can stop you but yourself. It's something I think I keep in mind.
At USA's last year, as I said, it was obviously the end of an incredibly long season. Your mind was willing, but your body was telling you, okay, that's enough now, right?
Yes.
And like, one of the things I find interesting is, like, immediately after, you're in the press room. I was in the press room that day after the 200, and the media are basically like, they're asking you all these questions, and you're just like, still, you are unshakable. You still have this amazing belief, like, you've not had a race that you wanted to have, right, but you still like brush it off. Like 2 minutes after the race, you're over it and you've moved on. Were you like, are you surprised by the amount of like attention and spotlight on you, or is that just the norm for you now that you're a 1075 runner?
Honestly, it still kind of shake me up sometimes. Like, even when people recognize me, I'm like, oh, you know me? So definitely, it still kind of shake me up. Honestly, I think I get a little starstruck at my starstruckness, I guess. Excuse me. But definitely, referring especially back to USA's, that whole experience in itself, it was kind of a wake up call. Of course, advancing my outdoor season, I basically was undefeated the entire outdoor season, and so it definitely you don't get big headed, but unconsciously, you feel yourself just a little. So not saying that, and like stating mentally, I promise I was there. I was ready on the line, ready to get to the finish line first, as best as I could. I was ready, but physically, my body was just like, it's time, and I was at peace with that. Before I even ran the 200, mentally at peace with that. So afterwards, it was just like, it's time to reset. It's time to reload. Okay, this is not the end. This is not a failure. This is a lesson. I'm learning my body. I'm learning myself. I'm learning change. I'm learning transition. Therefore, this is a way for me to learn, and this is a way for me to grow. Therefore, y'all won't see this ever again. And I mean that. But yes, that way I won't have to experience this feeling again. This way I won't have to feel the ways I was feeling mentally, maybe But definitely, I feel like I prepare myself mentally first, going back to mindset, mentally first before even stepping onto the track. I think that's why I didn't really phase me if that's what it looked like.
Are you nervous isn't the right word, but are you, especially now in that pro environment, are you, whether it's with your coach or whether it's other athletes in the group, are you kind of asking them, hey, what are the Olympics like? Are you asking them what are world champs like? Or are you just like, you know what, I'll take it how it comes?
Oh yes, my training group. I love my training group. And all of them, they all have different personalities, and some of them vary. Like for instance, I train with Justin Gatlin. Justin Gatlin, he's a vet in the game, so I'm always asking him for advice. You have other people that's been training. They've been in the system a little, but not as long. Like Kari King. Kari King, I talk to him a lot, asking stuff about the realm. On the girl side, I have Caitlin that trains there. They have Desiree trains there. Javian, Courtney, girls that I know. Some girls I know personally. Some before coming down there. All of them literally spit their wisdom on me, talk to me, and let me know what they're thinking. You have Isaiah down there. All of them come together. The ones that's actually been on that level, not even just them. Aaron Brown, all of them having different experience, having different races, all of them literally when I ask questions, or sometimes they don't ask questions. If they notice it's something, or if they think about something that I could use, or we could be at practice, and they'll notice something, hey, like, coach, finna do this. All right, bet. Relax, because it's finna go this way. They just put me on the game as much as possible if I ask and if I don't ask. So I guess I feel like I have a great resource system when it comes to wanting to know about the professional realm.
Yeah, that's what an amazing resource or like environment to be part of.
Nice.
I feel, and again, like through watching other interviews you've done, and like whether it's post race or whatever, you just have this. You have this like endless energy, right? Have you always been like this? Like, were you like this as a kid? Like, you're always on.
Actually, I feel like track brought it out. Younger, I was a little quiet. Like, if you got to know me, you saw me. You saw this side. But if you didn't know me, you know. But I think track definitely was that show that brought me out, because it kind of brought, like I said, a popularity to me when I was to me. So that was kind of me. I was the track girl, I was that fast girl. So it kind of slowly brought me out of a bubble. Not saying I was shy naturally, but it's just like I was just to myself. And it just brought me out of a bubble. And it just exposed me to different things, and just experiencing different things, different people. Just brought out this Sha'Carri.
What's when you're not on the track, you're not in the weight room, downtime, what are you doing in your downtime?
In my downtime, what would I be doing? Eating. No, honestly, I would say I do enjoy food. I do like trying different foods, whether it's like healthy foods during the season. I definitely will. I love experience, like trying new stuff. What else I could say I like doing a lot? Wow. I don't know. I think now that I stay in Florida, I just go out and try different stuff in the area. because I feel like Florida, especially close to the Orlando area, it's a busy area. So I feel like just learning my environment as right now. That's like a habit of mine. Honestly, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a weird habit, but just learning the neighborhood. Like literally, I just like get in the car and drive, just look sightseeing, like just around and stuff like that, and come back. Honestly, I didn't expect to have this much free time this year.
You're a pizza fan in the off season, right?
Yes, I am. I love me a meat lover, 3 meat, anything to have all the different types of. Yes, I love pizza.
So what about like the big debate? Does pineapple belong on pizza? What's your take on that?
Pineapple does not belong on pizza.
It can be refreshing though.
No, it cannot be refreshing. I have this debate at least maybe once a month. I do. No, I can't see how it can be fruit on pizza can be refreshing. I don't. I can't. Matter of fact, I might just record myself eating a piece and post it. Just show my reaction.
You should. Hey, I want to go back to it another serious one for a second. I think like when we talk about that belief and that mental strength, like that's an amazing message for young people, athletes, or whatever you're doing, right? Even if it's not athletics, the importance of that. There's also something, again, you've said a few times. You said it best on stage at the Bauman Awards last year. You were asked about like your hair color and your nails and stuff like that, and you said something that I really enjoyed. You were speaking about it, and you said, when I step on the track, it doesn't matter what I look like, what color I am. The time speaks for itself, and that's all that matters.
Yes,
and
sir.
like, you know, this was 2019. Like, you've kind of just summed up what we should all be thinking in 2020, right? Like,
honestly, when you take away color, when you take away all of that, we're all people. We all breathe. We all operate. We all function. We all need. At the end of the day, I don't understand why color has to be a problem. I don't understand why who people love have to be an issue. Because at the end of the day, when you go to your home, what's at your home is what you deal with. What's at your home is what impact your sleep, your money, and how you operate. Not what you saw when you was in your car. Not who you saw when you was out at the mall. You know, it's just like, honestly, if everybody really learned to mind their own business, we would have a better America. Honestly. But definitely, just with what's going on in the world, that's why when I do step on the track, I do represent myself in that way. I do come out with the long hair. I do come out with the different colors. I do come out with the braids. I mean, with the nails, with showing and expressing myself, because at the end of the day, when we step on this track, excuse me, we're all doing the same thing in these lanes. We're all doing the same things from lane 1 to lane 9, what color you are, what color I am, how tall I am, how short you are, doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, who's trying to get to this line first and who gets to the line first is the person that everybody's really paying attention to. And that's just this way of life too. We all trying to do the same thing. We all just trying to make it.
At the age of 20, like, life is moving super fast for you. Are you conscious of being a role model to, you know, younger athletes? Like, is that something you stop and think about? Because whether you kind of realize it or not, right? You're a 1075 runner with a couple of 100,000 followers on social media. Like, you are a role model. Is that something that you like have to remind yourself of, or does it come naturally?
Being honest with you, yes, that is definitely something I have to remind myself of, or just when I sit and think about it, it also takes me back to my purpose. Because I have a lot of younger cousins that I held when I was younger. I have actually raised with my siblings and my family and whatnot, and just remembering them, knowing that they're at them ages where the kids that be commenting or posting me or DMing me, they're the same ages and stuff, and it just reminds me. I see how they like to talk about me and idolize me and stuff like that when they talk to their friends, or how they like to talk mess, or the things I love being able to do for them. I feel like that's probably one of my favorite things about being able to being a professional, is being able to do what I can for my family, because they do have what I wasn't able to have. So just remembering that, and then going back to it's children that don't even know me, that don't have ties to me, that just see me doing what they love to do as well. And it's just like, wow, like, she does that. I love her. You know, she does that. Like, oh, she's, oh my gosh. And it's just like, I have to remind myself that, because just like sometimes I want to, you know, express myself or be a 20-year-old may say, you know, but I also have to realize that it's my page, but this is me to the world. This is me for everyone. And this is a way for everyone to come to me. And I have to make it available for all. And that's the way that I try to keep it in mind. Like, this is for me and everyone. This is my way to them and their way to me.
Is there anything you know now that you would love to go back 5 years ago and tell yourself about, hey, you're gonna become this absolutely amazing athlete? Or did you, like, is everything kind of going how you thought it would go?
No. Oh my gosh, no. If I could go back and tell myself something, I would just say, get ready. I would honestly tell myself, I wouldn't change my work ethic or anything like that. I would tell myself, get ready mentally and spiritually. I would tell myself to get prepared. I feel like most through through this transition, I feel like that's been the biggest battle. Because physical pain, you go to check it hurt, you store for a couple days, that goes away. So I think that kind of like gets, that kind of gets you get adapted to that. But the fact of the different experiences, not just on the track, but also growing in life, transitioning in ages, systems, environments, that way I would tell myself to get ready every other way but physical. But
Yeah, I mean, life is moving at an incredible pace for you.
right.
I want to talk a little bit about Black Lives Matter and about racial inequality. You've been like a really great voice in your own way over the last few months, talking about what's a pretty serious issue, not just in the US but around the world as well. We've got people listening and watching our show from Australia, from the US, from the UK, from Canada. What's something that we can all kind of take away from this conversation today? Like what can we all do in our own little small way to make the world a better place?
Honestly, like I said, if like I would say and share to the world how they could do their part, particularly in any movement that in the Black Lives Matter movement, is being kind, like literally a kind act a day, going out of your way to per the day, because not everybody has large platforms they can use. Not everybody can make large donations. Not everyone can do things like that. But just going out your way and not necessarily being ugly towards the next person, or necessarily if you can do something for someone you see in need, or just because you have a little extra, just or giving a compliment, any type of way to make the next person a better, that you feel you may want to feel better, or that will make you feel better doing that. I feel like that's how everyone can make day by day a little contribution to making this world literally a better place. Because that's how incidents happen. That's how incidents start. How people look at people. How people say things to other people. How people comment on other people things in the public. I feel like if we were kinder, just a kind act a day, you never know what someone's going through. You never know what someone is thinking. You never know. One compliment could change a whole person's entire mindset about just a type of person, or just about the day. So I just feel like a kind act a day. Anyone, if you can go and do something that you wouldn't do for yourself normally, or that you could do for yourself, do it for someone else, and just tributing that way. Honestly.
I love hearing that. Like we sometimes forget that to compliment someone, it takes you 5-10 seconds, and it makes you feel better as well, and it can make that person's whole day.
Honestly, like just the smallest type of ways. People feel like you have to do big things to make a difference, and it's the smallest things. Going out to the flare into track. It's literally the smallest things that you have to change, that you have to nitpick at and get right in order to create the perfect grace, quote unquote. Literally.
All right.
Small.
I have two more questions to finish off.
Okay.
The first one, what's the most used app on your phone?
Twitter. No. Hard tie between Twitter and Instagram.
Really? You're a Twitter user. That's old school. Why? What's with Twitter?
What? Twitter's old school. Twitter's not old school. That's that new cutthroat game generation. Honestly, I gotta go check. You said Twitter is old. I need to go check that out then.
Hey, yeah, but you're a very mature 20-year-old, so you know what?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, last question. It's I don't know what time it is in Texas right now, but here in Melbourne, it's early. It's 8:30. A lot of people are going to be like watching or listening in the mornings, right?
Okay.
If people want to emulate you, what's your breakfast looking like most days?
Eggs, bacon. I'm gonna throw some toast in there.
Oof.
And maybe, I'm not even gonna lie, maybe like 3-4 pieces of fruit and biscuits. That's an off season. Wink, wink. That's an off season breakfast.
Are you a coffee drinker, juice, tea? Like what's your vibe there?
The drinking style, I love some orange juice. Orange juice over apple juice. Just want to put that out there. But
Yeah.
I'll go source some orange juice. Coffee, it's like here and there. Every blue moon, I'll be like, I want some coffee, and I'll go get some. But not very often, no. But
It's not a daily.
no, definitely not a daily. Definitely not a daily.
Oof.
And cranberry juice. I actually like cranberry juice a lot.
Ooh.
I will
living.
pour up a cup of that.
Hey, Sha'Carri Richardson, thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed your energy is just infectious. So thank you so much, and good luck for the rest of 2020.
You made this fun.
Good,
I
I'm glad.
enjoyed this. This is my first podcast, and I really enjoyed myself.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Honestly, like if you're looking for inspiration or motivation, or you're finding yourself in a bit of a rut, like after hearing Sha'Carri speak, and not just there, but like anytime she does an appearance, it certainly fills me with a lot of energy, and I hope you guys got something out of that as well. It's incredible to think that she is only 20 years old, and I know I kind of harped on that a lot, but really, like, her maturity level, you can see like it's like she was born to handle this kind of pressure and expectation, and this kind of heavy load that she carries now as a 1075 runner. It's going to be a lot of expectation on her as we get into Tokyo and Paris and LA potentially as well. So I hope you enjoyed that chat with Sha'Carri. I'm going to link in the show notes to a couple of her other appearances, and also to her amazing 1075 run. Like, she starts celebrating with about 5 meters left in that race. It's pretty sick to watch. So I'll share that as well. That's it for the show today, guys. We have Craig Engels on the show coming up next, so tune in for that one. If you're not already following us on YouTube, give us a subscribe, or subscribe on the pods as well. Thanks, guys. See you next time, and take your easy days easy. Thanks so much for watching Running Things here on YouTube. If you haven't already, do us a favor, hit that little subscribe button. It really helps out our channel. Also, tell your friends, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram @Tempo Journal.